one and all, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time around here, my name is Lynn. I'm a photographer and storyteller. I make stuff and tell stories here on my little corner of the internet, and it's a pleasure to have you here. In today's episode, I thought it would be so fun to share with you my Adobe Creator Camp experience. Listen, it has been the most immersive, engaging, mind-blowing, mind-opening, reaffirming, radical couple weeks of my life. And I just had to share this experience with you. If you've never heard of Adobe Creator Camp, it's basically Adobe giving beginner creatives and storytellers a user-friendly introduction to Premiere Pro, and even intermediate creatives, giving them the tips, the tricks, the hacks, organization tools that they need to streamline their editing process. It's dope. When I first opened Premiere Pro, I was like, what is going on here? But before I knew it, I was just so inspired to create, and yeah, I'm gonna share all of that with you today. So basically how it worked is that I had lessons, weekly lessons that dropped one after the other. And I took it seriously, Law. I was like, I'm gonna put this into my calendar. I'm gonna do the lessons. I need to prep questions for office hours. Like, I really felt like I'm like going back to school because I really wanted to immerse myself into the experience. And there was also the engaging community aspect of it where I can join in and I can answer prompts. I can connect with the other creatives and the mentors. I can ask all the questions that felt dumb but are super valid questions. I can log in for office hours and get even more tips and tricks on how to streamline my editing process. And on top of that, we also had community networking calls where I could connect with the other creatives and kind of see what everyone was up to on a weekly basis and constantly see new faces. I love you. Now, in terms of takeaways from this experience and what I learned about myself. So the first thing I learned from this experience is that it's okay to not know what you're doing. And also it's never too late to get started. I started editing a long time ago, years ago on iMovie. And then I transitioned to Premiere Rush, and I'm just like, you know, having fun creating short form content. So when I open Premiere Pro, I'm like, wait, what is going on? But through the lessons and through even engaging in the community and office hours and all of that, I just figured out that like, all other people were also like slowly figuring their way out through it, and it wasn't as intimidating as it felt. It was just such a reaffirming feeling because when I joined, I was like, okay, so I'm in a community of filmmakers. These people know what they're doing. They're producing dope stuff. But like, no, a lot of people are just also beginners. They're also transitioning from different softwares and they're just figuring it out. And this community has all the resources and guides and tips and hacks that we could possibly use to help us streamline our editing process. There are also different spaces within the community that you can be a part of. And one of them is tips, where people drop videos or resources that they find on the internet. Like, hey, I found this, hope it's useful to one of y'all. And I'm like, wait, actually that is useful to me. There are also spaces like photography, videography, travel, and the like, where people are like, oh, I found this tip about photography that's been useful for me. This is a new technique that I'm using. This is a new photography project that I just dropped. This is a YouTube video I just dropped. So people are kind of like shamelessly promoting their work. And honestly, overall, it's just been so amazing to be part of this community because I don't have this community in person in my local space. I don't know how to explain to people in my life what I do. I don't know how to explain to my Haitian mother what I do for a living, but to be in a creative space where there are people who have the same interests as me, or not necessarily exactly the same, but along the same lines, and we can kind of like feed off of one another, share resources and tips. It's just been such a reaffirming experience. And number two, if I learned nothing else from the lessons with Elise, work smarter, not harder. The way this has completely revolutionized the way that I will create and edit from now on. The first lesson that we talk about is organization. And from that, I'm like, my mind is completely blown because sometimes it's not always like the huge ways to like do things differently, but it's just a simple thing of like organizing. Yeah, I'm just like looking to implement all of these small changes to my editing process, specifically like captions. When I used to do street interviews, I would literally go through and handwrite the captions and like listen back to the footage over and over again to try to like catch everything. But click of a button, I got captions. Click of a button, I have color grading. It has revolutionized. I'm gonna say it a million times. Another lesson that I learned from this experience, I heard it today on Glo Atanmo's podcast, and I was like, yes, this is it. On the episode that I was listening to of her podcast, she said, you're not lazy, you're just not motivated by your work. Produce something you're proud of, and motivation/momentum becomes the byproduct. And I was like, yes, that's it. that's literally it. I've found myself in a creative rut as of recently. I haven't been really motivated to create. And so I was just like very upset with myself, and I'm just trying to figure out why am I in this weird writer's block space. And it's because I was just not feeling motivated. I wasn't being inspired by the work that I was creating. It felt very bland. It didn't feel like it was me. It didn't feel like it was purposeful to me. But as soon as I started the lessons, as soon as I even started engaging in conversation with folks, I'm like, ooh, I would love to talk about that. I could talk about that. And generating ideas with people. It's been great. I appreciate it. It's been a good time. Lean into the funk, make stuff, have fun. Do things, Lynn. Just make things. After this experience, I've been re-strategizing about what kind of stories I want to tell, how I want to create, and how I still want to make room for fun. And I've just been thinking about a lot. I have a lot of different projects coming up, and I'm just excited for the fresh wave, as I said, a fresh wave of inspiration, of new photo projects I can work on, new ways that I can collaborate with folks. I've been connecting with the other creators one-on-one, so I'm looking forward to connecting with them even in person. Literally from the first creator call, I met with Kat, and Kat was like, girl, we need to do a photo shoot. And I'm like, Kat, we're making it happen. And they were like, yeah, let's do a New York City social. And so I instantly felt welcome. I'm just really excited about all that is to come from this. I'm excited to have fun, to engage with people, to collaborate, to meet up in person, to make good work, make bad work, make funny stuff, figure out my process, and just have fun, really. So yeah, I want to wrap this by thanking Adobe once again for creating this super dope opportunity for up-and-coming creatives to have the tools that they need to streamline their editing process, to grow in their work, to find community, and to just make dope work. So special shout out to Chimdi for teaching the rest of us how to fish and giving us a seat at a table. I believe Halise shared this opportunity with her community, which Chimdi was a part of, and that's how she got into Creator Camp. And then Chimdi shared this opportunity with her community, which I happened to be a part of supporting her. Now I got the opportunity to be here and experience this. So Chimdi, shout out to you. Thank you for helping my creativity and my creative journey. So yeah, that's all I have for y'all for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, comment below, DM me on Instagram, email, whatever it is. I'll have all the links down below for you if you have any questions about my experience and what I learned. I'm definitely looking forward to talking more about this, talking more about Premiere Pro, all the different Adobe tools that I'm using right now, because I use a lot of them and I need them. I cannot create without them. So I'm definitely looking forward to sharing more about that. And yeah, subscribe to my channel, join the kinship. Also would appreciate if you could subscribe to the Unabridged Stories YouTube channel, which is my second channel that I've created because I've been inspired by this program. I'm so excited for it. It's a storytelling platform where I'm going to be sharing photography tutorials, tech reviews, travel films, photography behind the scenes, like all of the things. I'm so excited. So yeah, subscribe to Unabridged Stories, subscribe to the Lynn channel, and join the kinship. Thank you so much for being here, holding space with me. I'll catch you guys later. I'm like trying to breathe. Okay, bye now.